think that means we're ready. Every woman, every bar. A woman walks into a bar and says, "Hey bartender, give me a double entendre." So he gave it to her. Not bad, but try this. A woman walks into a bar and says, "Hey bartender, make me an entendre. You know, make it a double. And also let's have sex." The bartender makes her a drink and sticks his penis in her vajay jizzle. A woman walks into a bar and says, "Hey bartender, give me a cherry pusher." No, 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 no. Make me a fat fandango. No, no. Drizzle me out a merry keel hauler. Scratch that. I want a starlight galacticus to swirl briskly in the vault of my mouth. Bartender says, "I'm sorry, but we do not serve milk. We have no cow milk, no goat milk, no sheep milk, no yak milk, no camel milk, no aphid milk, no milk of magnesia, no milk of amnesia, no milk of human kindness, no Lon Lon ranch milk, no coconut, almond, hazelnut, sunflower, hemp, quinoa, or soy milk neither. And we be fresh out of Count Orlovsky's savage milk of the hinterlands. So how about I just whip you up a nice blinking swordfish?" She slaps him hard. The gender binary walks into a bar. There is no bartender, only a fluffy pink Angora sweater parked over a scarecrow. A bartender walks into a woman. "Hey yo!" A woman walks into a bar and says, "I would like to order a Saturnine concoction. I want to drop Waz balls in the motor oil of your unconscious, your lipid concoction, your unctuous subaltern prune handle. I will invalidate your face with this socket wrench. I call it my aluminum caveman." Bartender says, "I'm afraid not," and evaporates in a cloud of bath salts, leaving only fluffy pink lint and a bar napkin with a picture of a narwhal and a crudely drawn sketch of the seventh secret of Trismegistus on it. Bartender says, "I see. Can I get you a drink and then copulate with you in the manner of your choosing?" Thank you, Chris. The concept of womanhood is personified by Rosa Parks in a pink sports bra, right at the 522 from Bothell, right through the bat wings of a saloon as old as sodomy. The bartender's an amalgam of James Earl Ray, James Earl Jones, the Earl of Sandwich, Toe Jam and Earl, and Early Kyler. "What'll it be?" he asks. Rosa lets her eyes shut, as if the weight of every broken soldier huddled on her lids. A glacier violates a dragonfly. She uncocks her mouth. A homunculus crawls out, passes the bartender a card emblazoned with the word love. Once, 4 climbed out of the old ocean, drenched in binary sandpaper, and came to the orchard. One was Father Tractor Brush, who nests larks in his beard and smells like the moon feels when you're alone. In the before time, he used his knuckles to build monuments to blood memory. One was Grandmother Tibia, whose lazy hairline cracks smile against the blind men motoring and who gets drunk on Soonlight when she thinks no one's watching. In the before time, she hammered out the invisible highway. One was Princess Telephone, who sips endings like carbonated soda and twists the morning bread around her littlest finger. In the before time, she dipped her legs in the lizard honey to draw a map of history. One was Adam Pepper, who didn't know any better. And Father Tractor Brush, he said, "Let there be language!" And the orchard swelled, fat branches dropping dark dictionaries that split wide like melons, spilling words into the mud which sucked eagerly as a saracen sucks nectar. And Grandmother Tibia, she said, "Let there be poetry," and the words rutted, growing new branches decked thick with new words never spoken. And the half-man apes sniffed out the orchard, wolfed down the new word fruit, made it a part of themselves, and spit out seeds like bullets. And Princess Telephone, she said, "Let there be reason." And the half-man apes anteloped away as the ironwood gates drilled out of the mud to choke close the orchard. And the sad mechanical man comes to circle the gates, 8 eyes compassing the orchard for trespass. And Adam Pepper, who didn't know any better, he said, "Let there be choice." And the half-man apes ran back, spitting dreams like bullets to tear open the ironwood gates, dismantle the sad mechanical man, take back the new word fruit, and cultivate the orchard as their own. And Father Tractor Brush became a parrot and stayed in the orchard forever. And Grandmother Tibia became a brook and stayed in the orchard forever. And Princess Telephone became a beehive and stayed in the orchard forever. And Adam Pepper, who didn't know any better, became rust on the ironwood gates so that they could never close again. So, my next poem is That Can Be My Next Poem. I suggested we should beef as an exercise in mutual cross-promotion. You agreed, privately. But whenever I talk trash, you'd whimper and hide between your father's leg, clutching a plastic rosary like a blankie. Our friends came to despise me, the bully, the blowhard. Huh. I guess you won. Rand Paul apparently plagiarized the Dictionary of Society's total income into pockets of unsettling. Ha! Well played, Mr. Paul. Well played. Clap, 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 clap. There was a great knife falling. They say a pig can learn to recognize its own reflection. They're just too ashamed to acknowledge it. Because here we are, forever having this serious conversation about chastity and Elliot Gould. We've come a long way. What atrocities we may commit in Iraq are nothing like the firebombing of Dresden, or so I've been told. But what do I know? I just moved here in this box of old, wet suits. It's like I'm afraid no one will keep me safe. I keep feeling like I'm not a raw egg sometimes, you know? I know. Let's commemorate genocide by gorging on beasts who command us to gobble, 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 and marching beneath inflated cartoon fauna. Oh, hubba, 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 hubba. There will be no end to the hubba egg. They say a pig can learn to recognize its own reflection. Honest engine. Some lazy Beaujolais days, I string hammock between sodden trees, popping with my own experience. Death is like shitting. Everyone's got to do it, but it's a distasteful prospect, and no one wants to talk about it. At least we're ill at ease around those who do. So I'm going to talk about it. Listen up. This is the view from the Burke-Gilman Trail. Infants strapped to a parent's chest or back, content and oblivious in blank as Saturday chalkboards, they drool like the idiot god's reign. Toddlers nestled in small mesh trailers, harnessed and towed by their parents' bicycles, they sit like little pashas, made unhappy and confused by every unplanned bump or dent along their road. The tweens grind with determination to keep pace with gentle, loping elders. Behind the wilder eyes, some fancy themselves knights charging some imagined battle. Maybe there's a moment of recognition as we pass each other. They see me, they know I fight in the same war as them, against no enemy but time and the sun and the inevitability of our own decline. So I have some stuff to sell if you want to buy stuff. Woo! That chapbook is $7. This book, although the other copies of it don't look like this one, but this book is $15. If you want both, it is $20.
Ooh, only $20?
It's a little discount. Clever.
Steal.
And just a second. Okay.
Why don't the other books look like that, Morris?
Because this, when my book first came out, one copy, and this is that copy, came with the cover instead of my book, the cover for The Foundation of Jewish Consciousness, Kabbalah, the Pineal Gland, and Jerusalem of the Mind. So I kept that one. This is Undertow. 1. I told her I never lied to my friends. That is a lie, and not the first I've told her. I waggle my eyebrows at my reflection in the bathroom mirror and return to our table. She twists her straw around her finger and gives me an appraising look. The Betty Lou waitress comes by. Is there anything else we need? I tell her, I've already filled my cake hole, but there's still plenty of room left in my pie hole. I'm not trying to be vulgar. I only drink tea to pass drug tests. My shirt is an unnatural act, a crime against civilized mores. I drink a lot of tea. She says she prefers John Cale as a producer rather than as a performer. Well, I tell her that I prefer Tori Amos as an artichoke rather than as a catapult. That is a lie, too. She barely holds my attention, like a Michael Bay flick holds a plot. Perhaps I will whip out Fearless Leader and branch him about like a turnip. Fearless Leader is my cock. Perhaps more drinks first. Recently I learned to be able to record music via a copper cord extended out of the radio and attached through a hole in one of my molars. It's a neat trick. I wouldn't waste it on this one. The moon contemplates the man. I ride the bus to the bus. I smoke another bowl and lie on a heap of unread comics. The only person I know who has a good job anymore is my therapist. Each Monday she straps a tail to my ass and locks me in a cardboard maze. At the end's a fish hook baited with a photo of Megan Fox. Everything comes in hooks these days. Rent money, pussy, the dream of parole. Once I pretended to swallow a whole coat rack just to impress a jury girl. I pretend a lot of things, but hardly anyone's impressed. Just often enough to keep me pretending. Every time I drop acid, I see the same pigeon outside my bathroom window. I've never dropped acid. That thing I said before about my therapist, it's not true either. I don't really have one. I tell my dreams to a meter maid in exchange for letting her bum a smoke. Sometimes I invite her up and we fuck tenderly on the sofa. After, I hold her and rock until the ocean swells up to swallow us both. So I'm going to do two more. Before I do the next one, I just want to take a second to acknowledge and thank my fantastic musicians with whom I'm working tonight. Please show your love for Alfredo Nice on saxophone, Jonathan Fiddleback Maxwell on guitar, and Melissa Janke on viola, and Ryan Kessler on bass and synth. You kids. All right. This is The Architecture of Sorrow, a play in 3 acts. Act 1, Scene 1, an airport bar. Crude facsimiles of dollar bills and sand dollars dangle from above. The bar is staffed by a 6'8" double D drag queen, Shirley Martini. Shirley's hair is the color of a diesel explosion. She looks bored. The bar has 3 patrons, 2 seated 3 stools apart, the other at a table some distance away. At the bar, an aging art critic, Rex Hieronymus, withering like a tulip left in a starlet's underwear drawer, and a heavy-set bruiser with a tattoo of the Articles of Confederation beginning on his scalp and continuing down his back, visible through the sheer fiber of his wife-beater, then disappearing into his camo dungarees. At the table, a stone dolman dressed like a commercial pilot. Bruiser. Hey, Shorty! Shirley. Shirley! It's pronounced Shirley! The music stops abruptly. The lights grow brighter over a 2 count. Hieronymus prepares to speak. Blackout. Scene 2. In a basement. The dolman and the bruiser lie on the floor. The bruiser picks his teeth with a small bone. The room is suffused with a rose glow and is devoid of furnishing. Dolman. Ever look up at the night sky and wonder if the universe was just a computer simulation? And if Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Zoroaster, Gandhi, Alan Watts, Mozart, and Martin Luther, and all his namesakes were just tech support? Bruiser. Oh, whoa. Dude. Paper plates fall from the catwalk with the regularity of snowflakes, and some crayon drawings of the sun. Others are marked by the sign of a baris in coal. The lights fade slowly in the time it takes an unfaithful husband to forgive his spouse for reading his OkCupid inbox. Act 2, Scene 1. Shirley stands alone center stage in a field of daffodils, clutching a playbill through her hip. Shirley. When I was 16, I co-authored and performed in a musical about the Chinese invasion of Tibet called Hello, Dalai Lama. I played Trinley Gyatso, who appears to Rinpoche in a musical dream sequence modeled after the dream in Fiddler on the Roof. She turns, takes a moment to get in character, then turns back to the audience. Chidingly. I pity you, America! I weep for you! I weep for your rose gardens and your rose bowls! And your unending crop of Rose McGowans. I weep for Apple computers, apples, and apple pie, for the skyrunning ad man who dreams in simulcast, and for the fat-penched mammons who swallow a new pantheon, a manufactured clipo with names like Agranox and Lunesta. As this great experiment grinds to grisly acquiescence, what have we learned? Maybe only this. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And I believe in saliva of the fittest. Shirley executes a Z formation snap. Blackout. Scene 2. Rex Hieronymus and the Dolmens seated facing each other at a round wooden table. They share a large milkshake with 2 straws. Hieronymus. Do you know what your problem is? You've forgotten how to have a good time. All I hear from you anymore is human suffering this, and imminent collapse of civilization that. You've marched so long, you've forgotten how to dance. Dolmen. Okay. But your problem is, you're a pretentious, self-righteous, ineffectual twat, and you craved that last line from Danger Brooks, and you know it. You are literally worse than 1,000 Hitlers. The dolman falls over and is silent. Hieronymus loudly slurps the rest of the milkshake, dabs his lips with a cloth pre-fold, and waddles off stage. The curtain drops with the weight of a vulgar oath spoken at a cotillion. Intermission. Forever. Act 3. A second audience sits on stage and stares at the first. 3 minutes and 10 seconds pass in complete silence. The audience on stage grows restless. Children begin to fidget. A man upstage writes, checks his watch, and clears his throat. The primary audience members transmogrify into hawks, doves, pigeons, moths, and horseflies in descending order of their net worth and fly into the wings. Curtain. Okay, last piece. Before I do it, I just want to thank Rebar for having us in, Seattle Poetry Slam. You guys are awesome, and DJ Moist Towlette for your technical assistance. And all you guys for coming out. It's been a lot of fun. Buy stuff if you want to. If not, that's cool. This last piece is called What to Do in the Event of a Plane Crash. 1. Don't panic. Pilots can smell panic, and it makes them jumpy, like horses before a storm, or the way an ape might cradle an egg. 2. Count up the times you said you were sorry, subtract out the times you meant it, multiply by a numerical representation of the way your favorite wine slides down your throat, and divide out the square root of your father's middle name. This number means nothing. It's worthless. Throw it out. 3. Stop taking cryptic advice from omniscient narrators. We don't know shit about shit. Seriously. 4. Panic! You are going to die! If the sky wolves don't gobble you up, the clouds will choke and smother you. If the cabin pressure drops suddenly, your skull will pop like a tart. In the event of a water landing, you will not float. You will not float. Go ahead seat cushion like your grandmother's bones if it makes you feel better, but you will not float. 5. For Pete's sake, clean up after yourself. Do you think your mother works here? Well, she doesn't. Not since they caught her pilfering the honey roast and fraternizing with the criminal types they keep locked in the necessary room. 6. As you lie in the wreckage, try to take your mind off that flaking sensation behind your eyes by working on the book of Sudoku you've packed or cracking the latest Zadie Smith. 7. I know it can take a long time for the rescue crews to arrive, and you must be very tired. Just take a short nap. I promise to wake you before the sun goes out. 8. Try desperately to remember what 8 is for, because no matter how many poets or musicians think it's clever to make like they forgot what 8 is for, the violent femmes can't help you now. Bucko, go on. Try to remember. I'll wait. I'm done waiting. Did you figure it out? Good. Now you can stop panicking. 10. If you wake in what appears to be a 3-star hotel in Spain, congratulations. Forgot we were doing that. Congratulations are in order. You've made it into heaven. 11. If you were in hell, it will still manifest to you as a hotel in Spain, but you'll find the staff insolent and all the ice machines out of order. 12. The only way to survive the crash is to not board the plane, but look around. You're already on it. And there is no pilot.